So it's so fun to see that, and just it's like creating this cult addiction to something that nobody ever knew they wanted. And that's the fun part, is like there's a lot of markets in the US that don't like curry, that say they don't like curry because they haven't tried it, or because they've smelled it, or because everybody's got their reason. And for us to be able, those are my favorite people. When we go to a trade show or we're at an event and I'm like, hey, you want to try something? They say, I don't really like curry. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll bet that you will like this.
What's going on, Pizza Fam? Look, I appreciate each one of you for listening to this show, listening to this episode. Before we get back to it, I wanted to tell you about my favorite product right now, Todd's curry sauce. I met these guys at the Florida Restaurant Show, Pizza Tomorrow Summit, and I'm telling you, ever since I tried that sauce, I have been putting it on everything in the shop. Chicken wings, pizza, you've seen the pizzas, chicken sandwich, salad dressing, like we've been putting Todd's curry sauce on everything, and I'm here to give you a special deal, special offer. Go to their website, toddscurrysauce.com, use code Pizza King, and get 10% off your next order. I promise you, you only need to try it one time. It's going to be the best curry sauce you ever tasted in your life. You're going to start putting it on all kinds of stuff in your shop, even at home. I got a bottle in the pantry here at the house. I got a bottle at the shop. Elliott, Todd, I need another bottle because I'm putting it everywhere. I'm putting it on everything. So go check it out. Use code Pizza King and get 10% off your next order. Peace. Let's get back to it. All right, there we go. Welcome back to Pizza King Podcast. Here with a special guest this week, my new homeboy, Elliott from Todd's Curry Sauce. We were just talking that, him and I have been on similar paths and probably cross paths way back in the day, as we both have been in and around the West Shore Pizza brand for some time now here in Tampa Bay. So small community. We've worked on probably similar projects and all these things over the years. So, Elliott, thank you for coming on the show. Welcome. Please introduce yourself to the audience, because they've seen me talk about Todd's curry sauce, but they haven't seen your face get put to that. So please tell us who you are and what you're about.
Well, sorry, it's my face and not Todd's, but we'll get him on the next one.
We'll get Todd on.
Honored to be here. I appreciate you. I love the Pizza King podcast and all the community around it. Yeah, man, I've been around the West Shore Pizza brand for over 10 years. I used to run a loyalty rewards company that was early on in the loyalty space around small businesses, specifically with pizza. West Shore Pizza was one of our early brands. So that was, late 2010, 11, 12 timeframe. And since then, just been around small business, a lot of QSR restaurants, ran a digital agency for about 10 years. And now I'm in the sauce game, which has been a lot of fun.
So how did you end up in sauce from going, from almost purely marketing and branding and loyalty to, all right, I'm going straight ops now. Let's go put this brand out. How'd you end up there?
That's a great question. I mean, I ran a digital agency for almost 10 years where we had the opportunity to be involved with so many different types of businesses. We had a lot of QSR restaurants. We had some national brands like Buffalo Wild Wings. We had, corporate, financial, technology clients. So we really had our hands in a lot of different things, which gave me the opportunity to kind of look across so many different business verticals and figure out what I really loved. And a lot of it's people. And then
straight up,
the second one is food. And there's nothing better in a restaurant than people and food. That's what puts butts in the seats. So I had a friend a few years ago that had launched a sauce brand, and I came on board as employee number one. And we took that brand national over the course of a couple of years. And then I left and actually bought a restaurant in St. Pete and was running a Cuban restaurant in Westside St. Petersburg.
Nice.
And a close colleague of mine, someone I've been on the board of directors for a long time, said, hey, I have a friend that's launching a sauce and I want you to try it. And I thought, oh, man, if, just like being in the agency business, the side of everybody has an app idea. When you're in food, everybody's got a sauce or a seasoning or a rub, or, they've got a new concept they want to do. And I just thought, all right, but I trust this guy a lot. I said, I'll take a lunch with him. And immediately fell in love with Todd. As you've met him, his energy is just electric.
Yeah, for sure.
Firing and happy, and just one of those guys. He says all the time, every day Saturday for me. So what are we doing? I just immediately was like, I love his energy. But then on top of that, he had such a phenomenal product and just needed some guidance on, how to get it to the next stage. And so we met January of last year. Actually, we just came up on our 1 year anniversary. And I said, I'll take a look at this. Give me a couple of days to consider. I hit a couple of stores. I looked around for, the competition in the market and realized there was none. It was just us. And he really had something special. And so I said, what do you want to do? How do you want to approach this? Do you want a full-time job? Do you want a partner? What do you need? And he said, I need a partner and somebody that can run everything. And I said, I'm in.
There it is. He goes, yeah, I'll take control and make sure this. But I mean, and shout out to the energy that you guys and synergy that you guys have together. Because when you were in my place, I mean, we sat there, we talked, we chopped it up, and by the end of it, just like we forgot to even mention business.
Yeah.
It's like, like
well,
these dudes are just fun.
The most important thing is people, right? Like we want to get to know people. We want to see how they're using it. We want Todd's curry sauce to be in many mouths as possible around the world. That's our number one goal. We know the money will come. We know the revenue will happen, and that all comes with scaling the business. Obviously, we're keeping the business healthy, but really it's more about connecting with who's using the product, how are they using it, and how can we advance this in more homes, more families, more mouths.
You've done a really good job. I mean, to go from where you were a year ago to where you are now, and I see, besides myself, I see big time creators putting, making videos and making content about Todd's curry sauce. You guys are either very well connected or the product is spreading like wildfire. Or maybe it's a little bit of both.
I think it's a little bit of both. I've been very blessed with a great network of connections around me, from food creators and just straight up influencers on social media, all the way just to connections I've made over time, and Todd as well. Being in business his whole career, he's got a lot of connections that are invaluable. I've got great influencers that hit me up and say, hey, can I come stay at your house for a week and cook? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. This is what I'm here for.
I want to come hang out. So besides all even the sauce business, so I watch your Instagram and I see your stories, and like you just said before, food and people. Like your lifestyle looks like it's about food and people, and I'm like, I need to come hang with Elliott, because it's either something on the grill or somebody over, or we're a karaoke bar or something. Like, dude, I'm trying to come over.
Yeah, dude, you're welcome anytime. That's what I do. I think my doctor says the same thing. It looks like your lifestyle is based around food and people, but hey, that's all right. We're still staying healthy, and just eating, having a good time. Like for me, today's Tuesday. I have a house rule that Taco Tuesday is a non-negotiable. It's the day that I don't book a dinner meeting with anybody else. My closest friends get together, we cook, we hang out, we have some fellowship, we just get to know each other a little bit more, play some games. And that to me is what feeds my soul. It keeps my cup full. Man. And it allows me to get up the next morning and keep working.
That's the stuff of life, right? And as you know, I came up with Bobby V, and Bobby V from your West Shore, encounters. And I always think about, like you told me, you guys had that the big old door hanger. That was our deal, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, that was early for sure.
The giant door hanger. But he always told us, similar to what you just said, like, it doesn't matter what we're selling. And then, Bob, we've done pizza. We had a movie theater. We had coffee shops and window tint businesses and all these different things. He goes, it doesn't matter what we're selling. Everything that we do is about people. It's about relationships. It's about taking care of folks, and then they'll in turn take care of us in the end. And I appreciate that, because that's been what has driven every single part of my career to this point. Just being a good dude and just trying to give whatever I can. And it sounds like you did the same thing for Todd. How can I help you best here? So
that's it. Building good businesses with good people has kind of been my motto for a long time. When I started my digital agency, Social Faucet, in 2013, we really put it down to, bringing ideas into focus was the main mission. But then beyond that, it was building really cool shit with really cool people. And that was literally in our pitch deck. And I would pitch that to Fortune 500 all the way down to individual owner operator, because regardless of profanity, it was a point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Let's build cool shit and let's do it with really good people. And beyond that, everything else will come. The money will follow.
That's right. And in the in the marketing business and branding, and kind of what started this whole conversation between you and I anyways, I imagine that those principles apply to just about everything that you're doing over there too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. I mean, we want to put out a quality product, and that of course is first and foremost to anything we do. Todd's Curry Sauce is very focused on putting out one very good product at a time. And, we launched the mild August 1st of last year. It's had tremendous success around the food service business and doing very well, moving towards retail and grocery. Now we have a hot version coming that we officially have a nutritional panel for. So we've got another run, and then a curry ranch, which will come out in Q1 of this year. But we've taken our time to make sure that everything we launch is up to the same standard of the first product we ever did.
I saw that at the chili, when you were doing the chili thing the other day, and I kind of saw a peek of something that said curry ranch. What's that about?
Yeah, we've kind of kept it under tight wraps a little bit. Shout out Chili Cook Off in Sarasota, second year champs. We've won back to back, which
Let's
is
go.
unheard of for a curry sauce. Like nobody would ever think of that. But the curry ranch was something that we developed just playing around. We were like, Todd is the R&D guy. He's the man behind the kitchen and kind of coming up with new ideas every day. And he thought, man, what if we mix these two together? We worked with a restaurant in Sarasota, Spearfish Grill, that actually is blowing through our curry sauce by the jug because they're making their own curry ranch tableside for customers. So it's about a 60-40 split of a home style, standard ranch that most restaurants have in the back of house. And then 40% curry sauce. We actually are working right now with I don't know how much I can publicly say, a very well-known quick serve restaurant Tex-Mex business based in Florida. So we could probably figure out what that is. They are bringing curry ranch to their salad dressing menu for the first time in 17 years. It's the first update to their salad dressing.
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to see it because I know there's one right down the street from me too.
Yeah, right
I'm looking forward to that. And it's not, well, I'm a Fuzzies guys, but I love those guys too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're fantastic. They're kind of one of our staples of Florida QSRs, and they've been around a long time. We're honored to work with them. Really, we're honored to work with anybody. We just like to see how people use it, and that's one of my favorite parts is being in the kitchen, working with chefs. Like, the people aspect of this is to be invited into somebody's kitchen is a big step. And as you know, like as a small owner operator, you're only crossing that threshold of the kitchen if I trust you.
That's for sure.
You're not coming into my space unless you're invited. And to be invited into some of these kitchens, but then at a full corporate scale is it's a really cool thing. And to see what these guys get to create back there is even more fun because I get to sit there and eat it.
Well, congratulations. What has been your favorite creation with Todd's Curry?
Man, I tell you what, there's been a lot of good ones along the way. I'm a big fan of the pizza. Hate to dive in and lean into what we're talking about here with pizza, but we went to the Florida Restaurant Show in November, where obviously we kind of the impetus of our newer relationship started. And we were working with Gordon Food Service, who had a big booth and a bunch of pizza ovens. And I said, hey, here's a jug. Go figure out what you come up with. And they came back with this curry chicken pizza with arugula. And I just was like, wow, we've done it. We're in the pizza game. So that's really been a lot of fun to experiment with and get to know a little bit, how other people are using it. We actually have a guy up in Brooklyn that I think I met via you or via the Pizza King podcast. Frankie's of Brooklyn.
Nice. Bayside or Bay Ridge. Did he reach out to you? Nice. I'm glad that happened.
And sent him some sauce, and he was like, man, I'm a traditional pizza outfit, but you're onto something here. So those are the fun things to hear. But then like at the Florida Restaurant Show, we had a chef that competed in the basket competition where they just put everything in a basket and you got to create something, and did like a coconut curry shrimp bowl soup. It was incredible. So it's so fun to see what people create and get to try all of it as well.
Yeah, I've been loving it. It's, for me, anything that I can do to pair it with tahini and Todd's curry sauce has been like a staple for me. So I've been doing wings tossed in the sauce and then seasoned on top, and then I do a pizza that's chicken, pineapple, bacon with curry sauce and tahini seasoning.
It's
and
that
it is
sweet heat,
my goodness.
in that that hot, but the flavor, the sweetness on the back end, and anything you compare that with, like a fruit, like a pineapple or a meat, or the chicken, it's always great on. But yeah, it's so fun, man. It's so fun to see what people.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing even more with it. But we have like so many pizzas, so much, and thank you again for sending me more because we blew through the first batch so fast. I went in there and it's like, what happened to all the sauce? Everybody's like, I didn't know we were supposed to.
With that, unnamed quick serve restaurant in the Tex-Mex space, we dropped it off to the first location, and I got a call that night from the franchise owner. It was like, hey, you brought 12 bottles and I'm down to 4. Is there any way you can get me some more? I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, the whole back of house bought it. We're already out.
Everybody wanted it.
Yeah. So it's so fun to see that. And just, it's like creating this, cult addiction to something that nobody ever knew they wanted. And that's the fun part, is like, there's a lot of markets in the US that don't like curry, that say they don't like curry because they haven't tried it or because they've smelled it or because everybody's got their reason, and for us to be able, those are my favorite people. When we go to a trade show or we're at an event and I'm like, hey, you want to try something? They say, I don't really like curry. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll bet that you will like this.
And then you bet on it. Watch this face melt.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
And I'm like 9.5 for 10 on being right, so I like that as well.
Nice. What's the so we know we got, a couple of variations of the sauce coming with the hot and the ranch. Like what's your goal and what's, and I'm sure, and I say yours, but I'm sure Todd and yourself are aligned on goals for the company. But what do you see this going in the next year, 2 years, 5 years?
That's a great question. I mean, our daily mission, like I shared earlier, that Todd and I talk about every single day is getting Todd's curry sauce into the mouths of as many people as possible. We want to share it with the world. And we have some brand videos coming out of Todd talking about that that's really impactful. And you get to hear where the passion comes from of sharing flavor. Todd's mom was a home ec teacher for 35 years. They know is cooking. That's what they do. The Pearson family is known for the parties, and him and I are so much alike in that capacity that it's like, we want to host a party, and it's like, oh, we think we have 25 people coming, and then we have 70 people there, and we're cooking for 2 days. Like, it's just a blast. From a business perspective and the goals on the company itself, we're really focused in food service right now.
Okay.
We're doing very well around restaurants. It's a lot of fun because those restaurants drive traffic into retail because the amount of customers that come in, try it at a restaurant, and need somewhere to buy it, which is something we see, across what I call the Cracker Barrel model. It's that shop up front in front of the restaurant, right?
Right.
So you can buy things in and out as you're, either waiting for a table or you've left and you want. So focused on a lot of those style, resort style or Cracker Barrel style restaurants where we can sell the sauce as well as serve it tableside as part of
Okay.
the offer.
I like that. I think that's what helped a lot with the hot honey craze that happened over the last couple of years, having that retail aspect, and it just continued to just drive it. And of course, more products started to come as a result of that. So
Yeah, and Mike, Mike from Mike's Hot Honey is one of the great minds in our business category. He's really forward thinking in the marketing aspect, and also just how to run a business the right way and treat people the right way. And from all I've ever heard about him, he's a great guy, and had the opportunity to meet with him last year and sit down and talk a little bit and get to know each other. So I think he's one that in my mind would be like kind of a fast follow. How did they do it, and let's do the same. They've definitely been very successful running their brand. And beyond that, we have some cool new things coming to CPG. We've just yesterday finalized our dry seasoning, which is an exact flavor replication of the mild.
whoa.
And we will be adding it to some potato chips. We have a popcorn coming. So there's a lot of fun things in that space that's happening as well.
I mean, you guys must have so much fun just trying to figure out every possible way to bring this sauce out.
Yeah.
To bring that, not just the sauce. Now we're talking the flavor.
Yeah.
And not just
That's
the
really
sauce. It's a flavor experience. So man, that's super cool. So I'm looking
Yeah, it's
forward
so
to that.
fun. I mean, we threw it in potato chips and it just went like wow. I mean, but we literally bought out our local Sam's Club of all the potato chips they had on the pallet because we're going through. We're just like, we got to have it in advance. But yeah, it's taken off like wildfire. It's been a lot of fun, and that's sometimes the most fun of the business is Todd and I getting together. Like we have a big Super Bowl party we're hosting next weekend, so I'm going to go down on Friday. We're going to start cooking and play around, and who knows what's on the menu now might not be on the menu Sunday morning because we might come up with something better.
That'll be fun. What do you have time, or are you still even working with clients on, with marketing, or
Yeah.
with through the digital agency? Do you still find time to work with folks?
So I sold my agency in 2017 to a publicly traded company and kind of closed operations on that side. From a consulting perspective, absolutely. I still work with some clients in the merch capacity, primarily building like merch stores out. I don't know if you're familiar with the Mike Calta show in Tampa.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do Mike Calta's merch and run his website. So I have some clients in that space that I talk to on a regular basis. Quite frankly, you got to pay me a lot of money right now to get my distraction away from Todd's. Not just financially, just mental capacity and creative power that I have. But yeah, absolutely. I always am open to working with small businesses and helping them along the path to scale.
I definitely understand that. Well, for those of us who don't have a ton of money, what kind of free game can you give a pizzeria operator who's saying, look, maybe we can, sell some merch. Like, we wear our clothes. We always have our brands on. We make hats, we make shirts, we make rubber bands and all these different things. Are there best practices when it comes to entering into that merchandise space for a brand, like for a pizza brand?
Yeah, I think it's so important, man. It's like, it's an add-on sale. It's an additional way we can drive revenue from a customer. Someone's coming in to buy a pie. Maybe they're going to add on a couple of sauce cups, right? 25 cents or 50 cents or whatever the place may charge. But if they grab a t-shirt, we're up $7-15 in margin. And every customer matters. And as you know, running a small business, every dollar matters. customers. That's really, what keeps us alive, keeps the lights on. And there's a lot of ways now to be able to do like print on demand merch where you don't have to do these big bulk orders up front. And that's what sometimes scares people away is, well, I can't afford the, minimum order quantity of 100 shirts. Well, you don't have to. Order one of each size and then put up a website using something like Printful connected with Shopify that you could do a direct to garment on demand print that you don't have to hold inventory for. You don't have to ship. You don't have to manage the operations side of it.
Right.
And beyond that, I think, back to the core of where I started my career is loyalty. Loyalty matters. When it comes to a pizza restaurant, not everybody has the phone number on the fridge anymore. But it used to always be that phone number was the most valuable thing in business for pizza restaurants.
We buy those magnets and try to get them out as best we could.
And I knew some pizzeria owners that have bought phone numbers, from other pizza restaurants. So we're like, that was such a valuable thing, was that phone number. I think now it's come down to loyalty and how do you gain that customer's loyalty, but then how do you keep it? And it's not always just through being a nice guy or being the face of the counter. It's, consistent communication via text or email, providing a method to redeem coupons or QR codes to join. Like those simple things that we sometimes overlook as, oh, I don't have time for that, can really drive incremental sales that affect the bottom line.
I like that. Is there, when it comes to text and email communication, and I know, I talk to a lot of operators who have not necessarily gotten out into the space because they're like, well, I don't want to overwhelm somebody in their inbox, or I don't want to get blocked from spamming, or, is there too much or too little when it comes to communicating with a customer?
I don't think there's a right answer to that question, to be honest, man. I mean, every business is different. Every customer is different. You can't overwhelm me. I don't know how many hundreds of emails I've got since I woke up this morning. None of them are going to overwhelm me at all. I just fell for one yesterday. A shoe company, I wear braces on my feet and I wear the specific shoes, and they sent me an email that said 40% off, and I was like, boom, I'll take 2 pairs. Yeah, got it. So, those things, we just got to be mindful of how often we do it. Are we sending everyday notifications? Are we doing it once a week? Is there a schedule to it? And then also talk to your customers, right? Like an individual pizza owner operator is going to have a lot of communication with its customers more than almost any other business. You're waiting for the pie to come out, ask a couple of questions. Hey, would you mind getting text messages from us? Or, would an email bother you? And if so, what do you want in that email? Is it coupons? Is it, updates? Is it news? Like, what do you want from us as a brand? I think it's an important conversation to have with the customer.
I agree. And just from our customers, and I know, like you say, every operation is going to be a little bit different. Our customers, they've gotten to know us over the years. We've been in the same place for 22 years now. But what they want to know is that they're going to get the best deal from us. And, we're going to always communicate and try to push to our loyalty customers first. Text and email is big for us. Text is what door hanging used to be for us, back in the day when we knew we could go to a neighborhood and, hit 40 houses or 60 houses or 2 streets or whatever it was. We're going to get orders that day from that neighborhood. Now we send a text and we know both the phone's going to ring and the tickets are just going to print from online orders almost as soon as we do it. Emails kind of got like this magazine type shelf life for us, where we'll send a message and folks will come in. We found that it wasn't easy for us to send like these same day deals up through email, like come in today. But if we tell them, I got a $10.99 pizza, they'll come in a couple of days later. Like, I know I got an email from you the other day, and just look for the deal because they know that we communicated and there's something in there. They don't always read them, but they know that when I do need it, there's a deal in my inbox. And that's me. Like when I go to Office Depot, like I know I got a coupon in here somewhere. Let me search.
I think that's a great point too, that you just made. Like if that marketing channel has a shelf life, then make the shelf life of the ad longer, right? Like a text message could be this deal's done at midnight. An email could be this deal's done for the week.
Exactly.
And I think that's just being mindful of how consumers interact with your advertisements.
And it just takes putting it out there and doing this. They don't always work.
Right.
But you just got to do it. And if you don't do it, there's zero chance that you're going to get that customer anyways.
And also mindful of when you send it, right? Like a text message can be weather-based. Pizza restaurants always do better when it's raining, especially on delivery. So be cognizant of that, or games or football games, whatever's happening in the sports world obviously affects pizza and wing restaurants big time. Just be mindful of how your customers interact with you, how they buy your product and when they buy it. And then that's the time you communicate.
Like that. And I think that also works the same way when as we were talking about merchandise. if you have merch and no one knows it's available and you never communicate it and you don't make a display in the store,
It's never going to sell.
how are you? Of course, you're gonna fail. You're
Of
gonna
course.
fail.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, and this is just me talking through it on my own, like I'm not gonna sell merch if I don't tell anyone that there's merch available, and
Absolutely.
if we don't put something up in the store. So,
And also make it special.
yeah,
You don't have to just do your logos. You can do like a funny saying, have a brainstorming day with your team and come up with some fun ideas. Like we've all seen the legalized marinara shirts.
yeah,
Those are hilarious every
yeah,
time. Doesn't matter what pizza restaurant it comes from. It's like, oh, that's a good one, and that's cool. It's a good way to spread the brand without, just plastering a West Shore Pizza logo on the front. Not to say we don't always want to do that, but
I do.
of course, just a little bias, but it's a way to get it in the hands of customers that might not be, just trying to rep the West Shore brand. That they want a funny shirt to wear as well.
Yeah, I love it, and you just got to figure out what people like. I think that sometimes folks get afraid of their lack of creativity, but there's a lot of tools and there's a lot of resources out there. I mean, you spend 10 minutes on Canva or Fiverr, or,
Yeah, GPT.
Chat GPT. Like, there's so many different ways to do these things that don't let creativity be what holds you back from doing these things because,
Yeah, I don't bend into that. I think if you're somebody that can run a restaurant, manage people, and come up with recipes, you've got plenty of creativity to produce a T-shirt.
oh, yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. And being local is like the cheat code. Like if I sell, I mean, and that's my thought. Like I'm, me, I'm in Brandon, I'm in, Sefner. If we make it our own, that gets the community behind it, and that's honestly what we really care about. And it'd be great to be viral with all these things and have viewers from, Australia to California,
Of course,
but
yeah.
the people who buy pizza from me live within 4 miles of that restaurant, 4 or 5 miles. And that's who we got to make sure that we cater to. So not losing sight of that, I think is going to be really, really important for us too as we
Of
go
course,
forward.
yeah. I mean, you got to talk about what are the goals. Is it selling the pizza within 4 miles, or is it getting people to travel from around the world to come try your pizza? I think it's in most cases it's the former, and the latter, the viral aspect comes, and we can let that happen. But the whole idea when running a quick serve restaurant is keep the lights on, right? Like keep the people paid, keep the ingredients paid for, and keep the lights on, and just keep pumping out good product because
Yeah. That's what Paul Sampson always said. Don't run out of cash.
yeah, great advice from a brilliant business mind right
I'm
there.
telling you, don't run out of cash. And it's the
Yeah.
truth because you got to keep it going.
Yep.
And building loyalty and building from the inside out is the way to do it. He was big on and still is big on always making sure we're rock solid internally before we spend a penny in marketing. Like he goes, I don't want to spend a bunch of money just to invite people here and show them that we suck. I'm
I
like,
can hear Bobby saying that in my
oh
head.
yeah. I'm like, dude, well, we don't suck. We good. He goes, you just got your ass kicked on a $400 lunch. You're
Yeah.
not ready. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe we're not ready.
I
Um,
was young when I started working with Bobby, and I learned a lot of valuable business lessons that I think of today. I mean, obviously, I shared that story with you the last time I saw you face to face, which we'll keep that one private and public audience. But those are a lot of the great things I learned sitting in his office. That
yeah,
back office at West Shore One.
still.
There's been a lot of great conversations that have happened there. I'm sure for a lot of other people, there's been a lot of negative conversations that have happened there.
Hopefully, it inspired them to change their life.
Exactly. That's where it comes from. And Bobby was a great leader, still is, obviously, still integrally involved to the business, but learned a lot of great things from Bobby Bassaturo.
Absolutely. I've been telling them I'm going to get them on the show, but I want to make sure I get good at it first.
Yeah, you got to get really good at it. You also got to make sure your editing skills are there because
Yeah.
Bobby loves to talk, and usually it's always good. But just like me, we always are at risk of getting canceled.
He's not going to come on and do this, remote stuff. I'm going to have to like buy a nice camera and go down and sit in the office, which the time is coming because look, the show's been great. Thanks to supporters, like yourself and Todd. We've been having just an amazing year, tons of growth. So, there's
Awesome.
more to come. And, so I'm looking forward to taking it on the road and doing some remote interviews and,
I think
getting out
that's a
to the
great idea.
restaurants.
I think that's a great idea to talk to other types of restaurants. Pizza King can be bigger than just pizza. There's plenty of other places you could talk to. Taking it to people like Bobby V, other leaders inside of the company too, other franchisees would be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
How they're running, and I think it's cool. I think what you're doing, T, to get out and be outside of the kitchen of slinging pies all day long and talking to other people and sharing that with. I think this is going to reach people beyond the pizza business, beyond even potentially restaurants.
I love it. I love it. And it's just been a ton of fun. We just get, we get to do this. We get to meet people, reconnect with folks like you and me, and the sky's the limit. So, thanks
Absolutely.
again. Thanks
Of
again.
course, man. It's killer. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
So tell us before we go, tell the people how they can connect with you and how they can get some sauce. Oh, no. Well, we know I do want you to tell them how they can get some sauce, but I wanted to ask you a question about that before you parted ways with me. You've made that decision to distribute on your own, but you also work with some of the distribution companies as well too.
We do, yeah, yeah. So by request of some of our larger restaurant outlets that we're working with nationwide to fulfill some of these more national and even international deals into Canada, we are working with some distribution partners, Cisco, Cheney Brothers, US Foods. Those are the ones we're in process now, which is really unheard of for a company that, we've really been doing this less than 6 months. And that's just a testament to not only how good the product is, but I also think how focused Todd and I are on sharing this with the amount of people that we
I
are.
love it, and those guys care about their shelf space, so that's an
Yep,
important deal to
absolutely.
have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And working with Gordon Food Service now has been awesome. Getting to know their business model a little bit around their private label sauces has been a lot to learn, but that's coming for us here in 2024. So Todd's is expanding. We're growing on a daily basis. We're getting new customers and finding them pretty much all organically. We have not spent a lot of money in advertising, if any at all, to this point. We've shared a lot of free sauce with creators and influencers. You saw probably Real Housewives of Dallas. Deandra Simmons has been using it. She's a friend of mine from the steak cook-off circuit and the barbecue circuit. So we've got a lot of great connections and a lot of things are rolling and we feel the momentum, but we're trying to not get it too far ahead of ourselves. We're trying to make sure that we can do it day by day. We can still fulfill orders. We use a co-packer here in Florida, so we're getting ready to ramp up for another run and make sure the inventory is consistently available. I could get one phone call today and we could run out. That's literally the margins we run on. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, but we have a phenomenal partner on that side that allows us to scale as needed. So when we're ready to run, we can do it almost immediately for all intents and purposes.
Very nice.
But yeah, we are managing a lot of the distribution on our own, which is obviously a challenging uphill battle. But there's nothing Todd and I can't do to jump in a truck and drive it wherever it needs to go.
Yeah,
We're always motivated to do it.
I love it. So again, now tell us where they can find you and how these folks can get some sauce for their restaurants, for their homes,
Yeah.
as a gift. How do they get it?
Absolutely. ToddsCurrySauce.com has everything you need. You can message us on there if you want to be a wholesale partner as well. We use Fair. We also have our internal wholesale system for you to order so you can bring it to restaurants and food service. We really love to talk to food service operators. As much as we like the random orders that show up and hit the account with the ching sound on Shopify, we want to talk to the owners. We want to help them develop recipe ideas, help them come up with new menu add-ons. And that's really I think where we differentiate ourselves from other sauce brands. We're not just something you're buying in a case that you never met the people or you don't know what it's used for. You got to come up with on its own. We will travel wherever, whenever to introduce it to the back of house so that we can share with those customers. So ToddsCurrySauce.com is the best place to do it. There's a live chat button right on there. If you have any questions, it comes to my team and Todd, and we can talk at any time. We're on Instagram, Todd's Curry Sauce, Facebook, everything under the same name. So we're pretty easy to find.
Nice. I appreciate that. Are you guys doing any shows? I know you did Florida Restaurant Show. Any shows coming up?
Yeah, we are. We're going to the National Restaurant Show in Chicago in May. So we're going to be exhibiting there, which is just a huge trade show.
That's the
I've
big
never
one.
been before, so I'm really excited to go. We're going to meet with some of our chef friends that we met in Florida Restaurant Show, as well as some other owner operators from around the country. So we're booking a lot of meetings for that, but that's really our next big show will be the National Restaurant Show in Chicago. I think it's the third week of May.
Yeah. And all right. Yeah, that's the big show. I mean, that's the show to be at.
Yeah.
So look for them there. If you guys get a chance to go out to Chicago for the big show, find their booth, go get a sample. What's the slogan again? You only need to try it one time. You only need to try it once. You only need to chase it once.
At the booth and then hit the karaoke bar with us afterwards.
I may have to make that trip.
All right, come on up.
But again, Elliott, thanks again for coming on. We appreciate you. Thanks for the insights. You gave us a lot of good stuff here today. You brought a lot of value to the pizza community and beyond. So,
Pizza King podcast for life. I'm here.
my guy.